He's got them.
But there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table to figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. And by the way, it's the same big club they use to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. Nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. Yeah. You know? And nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on, the fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
This is Howard Nema, and you're listening to We Are Change, and
Vinny Bdatruth.
All right. Back from a little break there. You know, the bladder can only hold so much. So, we continue on. We were talking about some of these things that are, you know, like Chavez with before, like complaining that there might be cancer in the fact that all of these leaders are all getting cancer and all of that.
That's what scares me with the chemtrails too. I mean, a lot of us who know about the chemtrails, and we're frustrated because we have to stare at these every day, and
you wonder what they're really doing.
Because it's so obvious.
Oh, it's so obvious.
And it's not like you have to get someone to go and read a book or go look up a video. It's like just
look in the sky
and just explain.
And they say that's contrails, which dissipate within not even minutes. These last for hours and spread out.
So, I mean, something like that, all it takes is just one day instead of them spraying barium and these heavy metals.
That's
all it takes is one day for them just
spraying to spray swine flu virus like they were doing with in China.
Like that, that's what this report was from. That they actually were caught, the CIA were caught aerial spraying mutated swine flu virus intended for aerial spraying was shot down at China's Shanghai Pudong airport by a saboteur team of what are believed to be Israeli Mossad soldiers seeking to prevent an American attack upon one of their Central Asian bases located in the Central Asian nation of Kyrgyzstan. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You see how things are so backwards? Mossad, that's Israel intelligence, fighting, shooting down a CIA plane to protect their interests. It's just out of control. I mean, why are we involved in all of this? Why do we, you know, and what the hell is, why are they having this mutated virus?
That's why Kennedy was going to get rid of it.
Exactly, because it's evil. It's evil.
That's why Kennedy wanted to get rid of the CIA, and they couldn't let that happen.
June 26, suspicious aircrafts were forced to land. The U.S.-operated AN-124 changed its call sign from civilian to military, which then triggered a response from the IAF upon entering Pakistani airspace. The plane was forced to land in Mumbai, while the second one was forced down by a Nigerian fighter. Now, you got to also understand there's other things you're talking about.
That actually was on the news today too. That just happened in Hungary. They just bombed. Wrong thing. Killed 35 innocent people.
Yep.
By the border with Iraq and Hungary.
$46 million, I think, was paid to some families in California where those jet fighter plane crashed. I mean, that was just an accident. But I mean, there's just so much military activity here going on, ladies and gentlemen, and it's like, you know, the war is just not over. Don't believe it when you don't believe it. I'm bringing the troops home. It's all political ploy for the election. This is just a shell game. These troops are going to be deployed elsewhere. There will be more war. Lots of war. This is what they want. This is what they do. The globalists. War. Debt and war. Okay.
I was sitting there, I was laughing, thinking about the Iran thing again too, where it was the Fifth Fleet naval guy was like, oh, you know, how dare they? This is international waters. If they mess, you know, with international waters. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, and that was Israel who went into international waters and shot people on the flotilla. One of them was an American woman, which the media never goes and says how.
Nope.
International waters, you know, it's okay for Israelis to board on international waters on someone's boat and shoot people in the head.
It's incredible.
Iran, you know, better not mess around in international waters.
We are charging up for war. We were doing some. I had some information on that. It was. I don't know if it got pulled out of the thing. Yeah, Panetta. Panetta is raising the specter of preemptive war. But before we go there, Panetta, by the way, is now the new head of the military. Frightening. You go from the CIA to the head of the military. It just scares me even more than anything I could even imagine. Mosquito bioweapons. Now we're talking about these.
Bill Gates has talked about.
Oh yeah, but we were talking about the fact that they would put the swine flu on this plane that was shot down by the CIA. Okay, these mosquito bioweapons. He has been talking about this, and it is out there with the recent announcement by UK-based biotechnology firm Oxitec that the company would be releasing thousands of genetically modified mosquitoes in southern Florida as early as January 2012. Woo! I don't know what you think about this, but this is insane! Okay, more insanity, more reason for me to rant. This is crazy. Thousands of genetically modified mosquitoes. GM opponents, environmentalists, and a diverse group of Floridians have issued calls to suspend the experiment, at least until further tests have been undertaken. It's just ridiculous. I mean, come on.
What test do you need to know that's bad? What test do you need? We need more tests to know if this is bad or not.
Oh, and then you were talking before about the Chinese couple that was forced to flee after 8 children were found. Mm-hmm. That's just incredible. I mean, so there are like all this crazy stuff going on in the world.
You gotta hide if you have children.
You have to hide if you have children. This is where they're going to want it everywhere. Mm-hmm. Only the elite will have children, and they'll have 9. They could have 9 kids if they want.
Unvaccinated.
Unvaccinated too, right? You're lucky if you get 1, and lucky that he has all his faculties.
And they'll shoot it up and put him on drugs by the time he's 5.
Exactly. Panetta is raising the specter of preemptive war. Advocates of a hot war with Iran have just taken some heavy hits from a Harvard professor. That's Professor Stephen Walt has savaged an article in the forthcoming Foreign Affairs magazine by Matthew Kronig titled "Time to Attack Iran." Oh boy, right on the nose. They're not even giving you a, like a little bit of subtlety there, okay?
Sugarcoating nothing.
Not sugarcoating anything. This is from Sherwood Ross at Infowars.com. The truth is that a military strike intended to destroy Iran's nuclear program, if managed carefully, could spare the region and the world of a very real threat. Bullshit! Come on, ladies and gentlemen. They're so far away from having a nuclear weapon. That is not their intention.
Like 10 years, probably.
It's not their intention. But they're using this as the perfect ploy. It's another Hegelian dialectic. They can use this as the problem. They create the problem. Here's the problem. They have nuclear power. Where all these other... What about North Korea?
Oh, and the main
what about Pakistan? We're shooting drones in Pakistan. They have nuclear power. I mean, nuclear bombs, too. I mean, what's going on? People wake up.
Well, that was in the news, too, is the ambassador
It's freaking maddening.
Yeah, I got in trouble. The Pakistanis, actually, the ambassador for America in Pakistan, is actually under trial for treason. So, again, you got America and Pakistan caught where they actually got this guy up for treason.
CIA is just wicked. They're just into all of this bullshit, causing all these disturbances, stirring up all of the trouble, backing these people that they want to fight and do their bidding, to even attack their own people. I mean, that's the whole idea. It's called
and
false
then take
flag.
our money to pay your kids to go fight their war,
and leave you with the debt and a body bag. Your son comes home or your daughter comes home, and an American flag that they wrap and they say, "Here, you did your service to your country."
Yeah, even if he does.
Now listen, I don't know. This isn't. You're doing service to ExxonMobil. You're doing service to J.P. Morgan Chase and Monsanto and Bank of America and Wells Fargo. Oh, and Wachovia, who are drug laundering the money while the CIA brings it in. Speaking about the CIA, bringing in the cocaine and the heroin from Afghanistan. I mean, wake up, everybody. We have a criminal apparatus that has hijacked our government. Now, most of our government is good. They're all good people. All right? This is a small...
I don't know about most.
No, seriously. There's a small amount of people that are making this happen. And that's harder to believe for some folks, maybe, than most. But it's true. They're in the highest positions. They're in the highest places of influence.
The more evil, the higher the position you
exactly.
are. It's so obvious.
It's just so obvious. And
you ruined the people. You stole the most money. You get to the highest position.
To get to this particular level, yeah, you would think, right? It's a great example. I should write a script about it. Like the guy's this really big thief, does all this, makes all this stealing in his company. And they go over to him. They tap him on the shoulder. Come here, I got it. And he thinks they're going to bring him, knocking him, putting him away for 20 years. Instead, they give him a $200,000 raise.
And everybody loves the mafia movies. It's no different. It's like the mafia people that you see in the movies. They do the crime, and when someone has to take the fall, if you shut your mouth and you go to jail and you do your bullshit little 2 years with no problems, you're gonna come out and you'll be taken care of. And they're the same way. They're the mafia.
It's the ultimate. It's the enormous mafia. It's like mafia squared.
And you shut your mouth and you do what we say, we'll take care of you. They'll protect you.
Right.
They'll get the judge, everyone to do.
Right.
They're all in it. It's mafia.
They are all in it. They have people in the highest levels of these corporations that are on the boards of directors of other corporations and other organizations and the Council of Foreign Relations and all of these connected, moving towards world government, while the bankers fleece everything and they just steal everything. I mean, that's what's going on here. And it even says it. It's like you're looking at these European banks. Earlier this month, the Federal Reserve czar, Ben Bernanke, told senators the cartel has no intention of bailing out European banks, and that he doesn't have the intention or authority to bail out countries or banks, quote unquote. Now we learn that the Fed is indeed in the business of bailing out the European banks, and it is secretly using a temporary U.S. dollar liquidity swap arrangement. More real, like, really scientific tyranny, okay? All right, there you go. With the ECB and the central banks of Canada, England, Switzerland, and Japan. Oh, let's do it. The Fed's latest actions in cooperation with foreign central banks to undertake liquidity swaps of dollars for foreign currency is another reason why Congress needs enhanced power to oversee and audit the Fed. So writes Ron Paul. You bet your ass. This is just unbelievable.
Now,
again, this is an article from Kurt Nimmo and
Did you hear Lindsey Williams the other day talking about China and Japan agreed to trade with each other now and not use the U.S. dollar no more?
Exactly. The dollar is... Listen, once the dollar goes off the oil standard And this is part of the part of the way that they're designing it. See, Gaddafi wanted to bring him off into their oil, into gold and all of that, and they killed him for it because
Took his gold.
because they wanted to take his gold and get him out of the picture. Not to mention that they were he was right. They are moving off of that. The dollar is not going to be accepted, and he knew that.